I do a lot of shows for called Spread a Smile, which is absolutely lovely. And basically, they provide entertainment for children who are seriously ill in hospital, and their main job is to make these children smile.
How has being in the military shaped you as a person?
I think everything I do is I have a certain element of military programming in me now, I think, which means I like to be very prepared for everything. So typically in the army, although I'm trained in combat, the majority of what I do in the army are the parades and ceremonial stuff. So everything we do has to be immaculate. So, for example, the Queen's Birthday Parade is pretty much an identical parade every year, and it has been for hundreds of years. It never changes, and most people who do the parade have done it like 15, 20 times, some of them. And so I've done them a number of times now, and it never changes. But regardless, we always prepare for months and months and months, and we go through rehearsals after rehearsals and kit inspections, and we spend hours. Like the boots that I wear are knee-high boots, traditionally, so that if anyone tried to use a sword to cut you, it protects your legs while you're on the horse. And but they take about 6 hours to polish each boot. And then once you get on top of the horse, within 10 minutes after the inspection, they're usually destroyed, which means the next time like 2 days later when you use them again, you've got to start again with another 6 hours on each boot. But basically a lot of rehearsing and a lot of effort goes into every little detail. And I find that it's the same reason that I think I've done well in Magic, especially in a short window. I was only doing Magic for about 6 years before I won Britain's Got Talent. And I think it's because I structured everything. I knew what I wanted. I was very determined to make being a magician on TV, to make that a reality, that I planned every stage so that I was never in any doubt of the process of what I was going to follow. And yeah, I was very well rehearsed. And I think that is because of the army training. They always make sure you're prepared for anything. So definitely, yeah. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the army training.
What would you say is your favorite memory with the Household Cavalry?
I have so many amazing experiences in my mind of being with traveling around with the army, because that's what I always wanted to do. I always wanted to be in the army. I always wanted to be a soldier since I was a little boy. I've got a big army family. Everyone served in either the army or the navy as far back as we can trace, apart from my sister, but she's a policewoman, so we kind of let her off.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So one of the best moments, I would say, would probably be the Queen's 90th birthday celebrations. Obviously, I performed on the Queen's 90th birthday, like Troop in the Colour, on Horse Guards Parade, and the BBC zoomed in on me and gave me a shout out, which I never expected to get on the Queen's birthday, so that was nice. But also we did a big show which was televised as well. It was the Windsor Horse Show, and they had a big celebration for the Queen's 90th there. And I was talking about it the other day, it's such a funny moment because it's this huge stadium with thousands of people all the way around the outside, and the Queen sat in the middle, and just out of the arena there's about, I don't know, maybe 200 horses. We're all on the horses ready to go in and put on this big show for everyone. And on the day that the Queen was there, all of a sudden, before we began, this little baby partridge, this tiny little partridge, comes running into the stadium, on the parade ground, right in the middle of everyone, thousands of people, and it was the only thing going on. It was just this little partridge running around, and all the crowd were laughing because saying, "God, look, this lunatic partridge running around, like panicking, like where the hell am I? It's like I'm in some sort of, I don't know, crazy human show." And then obviously the parade started, so the big drum horses start their drumming, and all of a sudden about 200 horses come cantering into this stadium, this big cheer, and then this partridge is panicking, running around, having a nightmare of a time. And it was so funny. Eventually it flew out, and it got a huge cheer, and the Queen was laughing. It was, it was good fun. So actually that wasn't technically military related, it was just a funny moment. But I mean, I've had Prince William on stage with me in magic shows before, and I've performed for Prince Harry a few times for the Invictus Games, and some garden parties in Buckingham Palace. They're always really special. I took my mum as well. Just after on BGT, I did a show in Buckingham Palace Garden. I took my mum along with me, so that was quite a special moment.
You do a lot of charity work, and you're a patron and ambassador of multiple charities. How have you supported these charities through lockdown to bring joy to those in need?
So, in two ways, charities have really obviously struggled during the lockdown. In one way, obviously, all of the big events, the big fundraising events that they have every year, which funds all of the great work that they do, obviously all got squashed and wiped out in lockdown straight away. And on a second level, all of the visits that people like, for example, myself would do for these charities, for the actual individuals who are helped by the charities, obviously I haven't been able to do that. But the beauty of doing stuff online is it means that the majority of the charities that I've done, I think they've all had fundraising events to replace the live events now. They've all got on board and put together events, which I've done a lot of shows for during lockdown to make sure money is raised to help them. But the thing that is nicest and the thing that I enjoy the most is when I do shows for the individuals that we support. So I do a lot of shows there's a fantastic charity, which I'm not a patron for, but I do a lot of shows for called Spread a Smile, which is absolutely lovely. And basically they provide entertainment for children who are seriously ill in hospital, and their main job is to make these children smile. And it's such a nice charity. They've got such a wonderful array of entertainers. They've got, for the younger kids, they've got fairies and princesses who do in the real world. When it's not locked down, we'd all go into the hospitals and entertain them in the hospital beds, but obviously virtually they all log on to their iPads, and if they don't have iPads, the hospitals have been amazing. They've been bringing iPads in for them to make sure that they have access to it. So that's been lovely. I've done a lot of shows for them, and also some shows for Scottish Little Soldiers, fundraising events and stuff. They're a wonderful charity as well, who support the children whose parents have unfortunately passed away while serving in the forces. So that's another lovely charity. And I think, in a sense, they've needed more support probably now in lockdown than they probably ever needed before. So I think doing the virtual stuff has been that much more important during this time.